to Grace B Creations. How's everybody doing? Welcome in. Welcome to all the new subscribers. We've had quite a bit of new subscribers join the channel. I welcome you and I thank you so much for your wonderful messages on my last room tour video. I appreciate all my regulars. Thank you for coming back. Today, I am sharing with you a Crafty Me Shop design team project that I made. I already posted it over on Crafty Me Shop. And today, I am showing you a tutorial on how to make these. It's not a full tutorial. I'm going to be pausing a lot and doing some stuff off camera because it is a lengthy project. And I'm going to show you as much as I can so that you yourself can try and be inspired by it. Also, people have asked me this. I've made quite a few of them. I will be selling 2 of these at the end of the video. I will be selling the first one that I made, and I'm selling this one that I made off camera. This one was some things are Crafty Me Shop, some are not. But these 2 are Crafty Me Shop. Pin cushions. I'm keeping this one. I love the angel one. I just love how this one came out. Let me show them to you really quick and then we'll get started with the video. Now this was originally inspired by G. Kerr, and I'll link her video below as well. But I did mine a little bit different and I'm gonna show you what I did. First of all, this is the first one that I made. It is an Ottoman pin cushion. And if I take the pins out, you can see it's got the lace and the fabric, the lace and the satin underneath. And then it's got all the embellishments, and even under the canvas, I actually put a picture as well. That's tissue paper. And it's lined with beautiful Crafty Me Shop trim and one of her new beautiful flowers. I am in love with these flowers. I told her she needs to sell more of the white ones and she plans to bring more out, but I love these flowers. This is an old piece here. I've been hoarding this piece of lace. I've got one more small piece. I can probably do one more in this design, but this was an old lace piece that I got from Crafty Me Shop when I first started buying from her. And I had it in my little, I call it the vault. And I used it for this project. And I love the swirly design on top. I just think it came out so beautiful. And then you have the rhinestone, not rhinestone, crystal feet on the bottom. And there you go. This was so fun to make. It's perfect for your shabby room. And the pins go right in them. Look at how pretty that is. I love this project. And then here is the other one I made, using all the Crafty Me Shop laces, of course. And I'm going to link below Crafty Me Shop Facebook group. If you're not familiar with Crafty Me Shop is run by Esme, and she does lace sales and vintage sales every weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, right on her Facebook group. So if you want to go on over and join her Facebook group, I'll leave a link below. Make sure that if you're going to be a part of her sales on the weekend, you got to send her a private message letting her know your PayPal information so that when you are a part of the sale, she can send you an invoice. And I will put all that information below for you to read so that you won't forget. But this is the second one. This has an angel on the front, and I used this new trim that I just got from one of her vintage sales. Look at the beautiful, beautiful trim. This one's not for sale anymore. This was an old trim that she had that she sold a long time ago, and it's gorgeous. And then I used one of her staple CMS laces on top. And I added some pearls. And then it has 2 pieces on this, and I'm going to explain that when I make it. And then I added a little embellishment on the front. This right here is one of her appliques. Really, really pretty applique on the front. And this as well. The pins just fit so nicely in there. I love this one. And then the third one I made out of some old rhinestone underneath this Crafty Me Shop lace. Then I made my bow, my rose gold bow, and I added some fuzzy trim on the end. And then I chose that photo for underneath. So much fun. So much fun. All right, let's get started. Which photo did I choose for the third one? Let me look. Oh, I just chose a wallpaper. Some wallpaper that I had. All right, let's get started. So, first of all, what you're going to need to make this project is... Oh, let me just skip to that really quick. You guys are probably wondering. Oh, never mind. I'll save it for the end of the video. What you're going to need is you're going to need a 4x6 canvas. You can buy them from the Dollar Tree store. The ones from the Dollar Tree store are a lot thinner. I got these off Amazon. I wanted ones that were a little more thick. I wanted ones with a little more volume. The ones at the Dollar Tree store are a little bit on the skinny side. And I just wanted more bulk just to hold, because I just wanted it to really hold up. The Dollar Tree store one works just as well. My friend Jen actually made hers with the Dollar Tree store one. And it works just as well. I just wanted mine a little wider. So I got this, and I'm going to leave a link below. So you're going to need a 4x6 canvas. You're going to want some felt. You're going to want to have some polyfill. You want some polyfill for the inside of the pincushion. And you're going to want a piece of chipboard. This is the difference between the way that G did hers and I did mine. I did mine on a chipboard first and then placed it onto the canvas because I wanted to make a separation between the canvas and the pincushion. I think she wrapped hers completely around the whole thing. Hers came out gorgeous too. Like I said, I'll leave a link below. I did mine on a piece of chipboard so that I had more control over it. And I created a nice trim that goes around in between the pincushion and the canvas. So you're going to want a piece of chipboard. You want it to be kind of sturdy. It's not easily bendable. You want it to be kind of on the thick side. I think it's like 110-pound chipboard. And then, of course, you want your felt and then some silk. And then you have your laces. I think for this one, I'm going to use a Crafty Me Shop CMS lace that I love. I'm either torn between this one, and I think there's one other one that I might try. But I think I'm going to go with this one, though. I really love this. I think it was between this one and that one. And then, of course, you want some embellishments as well. I just put everything out here so I have choices, so I don't have to keep on looking over there for what I need. And you also want some trim, plenty of trim, and then you want these, where's the other ones? There we go. You want 4 of the legs, which are actually, they're drawer knobs that I got off Amazon, and they're so cute for the feet. So I will also link that below as well. So let's get started because it's a pretty lengthy project. And like I said, I might pause in between so that it won't be so long for you all. But I'll explain what I'm doing so that I won't leave you hanging. Let me get a sip of my water. Allergy season is here, and the pollen is thick, and sometimes my voice gets raspy. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open the canvas. Okay, should have done this before the video, but that's okay. All right, so I'm just going to place that aside for now. Now I'm going to take out my chipboard. Now the most important part here is this is 4x6. The chipboard, you don't want to have the chipboard the same exact size. You want it to be just slightly smaller. Now I believe I cut this one. Let me just make sure. For some reason this looks like the same exact size. I might not have. All right, let me just retrim it. And I'm going to explain why. Because you're going to have so much material on it, you don't want it hanging over the canvas. So I'm going to go just 1/4 of an inch off the length and the width. So you're going to go just about 1/4, like just a sliver. You just want it to be a little bit smaller than the canvas. Doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't have to be perfect at all. It's been a while since I've done a tutorial, so I might be a little shaky or it's been a while, I know. Everybody's been asking me to do this video, and I was excited to get it going. All right, so as you can see, it's a little tiny bit smaller than the canvas. So that's perfect. Okay, you just want a little bit of the top and sides to show. That way, when you're wrapping it, it won't be so far over the canvas. And you'll see what I mean when I get it wrapped. Okay, so put that aside. You're going to take your chipboard and you're going to put glue down. Get started. I just filled this up. You just want to put just a little bit down. You're only putting down a little bit of the polyfill. This is only to get your felt down, and then you're going to stuff it more, and you'll see what I mean. So basically, I'm just taking some of the fill, and I am just placing some on top, just so I can get the initial wrap started. And we're going to add a lot more. Okay, I'm just gluing a little bit down just to get it started. Piece of my long hair got in there, which is not hard because I've got so much hair. All right. There was something I was going to tell you guys, but then I forgot what I was going to say. All right, so now you're going to take your piece of felt. Is this the one that I cut? There was one that I cut. Why am I like, I had everything out. I swear, there must be some kind of a craft thief that just comes on here and takes all my stuff before my video starts. I could have sworn that I cut. I don't think this is the felt that I wanted to use. I got this kind from the Dollar Tree store, and I actually like it a lot. And I'm going to go ahead and use that instead. Hold on. Oh, you know what? Maybe this is this it? Yeah, it's a little bit thinner. Is that the same? Yeah, see, that's not the one I wanted to use. I got this felt from the Dollar Tree store, and believe it or not, by Crafty Square, I think it's really nice. It works good for this project because it's stretchy. All right, so I'm just going to cut a piece. Now, because felt is actually stretchy, you don't have to worry about being to the exact size, because we're going to miter it. All right, so that should be good. And then I'll just trim. I don't think I'm in frame. Hold on, let me just make sure I'm in frame. There we go. All right. Thank goodness for the monitor to my right, because sometimes I wonder if I'm in frame or not. Okay, so let's put this aside. All right, so now we're going to do face down. And I make a lot of my pin cushions like this too. You've seen me do the spines. You've seen me do the book pin cushions. And this is kind of on the same idea of how I do all of my pin cushions. So first of all, we want to leave one of the top sides open so that we can stuff it more. So we're going to go ahead and glue the two sides and the back. And the most important thing about this is you want to make it tight. It has to be tight. It cannot be loose. Okay? So I'm going to start with this side. And it's messy too. You do get glue on your fingers, so. Okay, so you start with that side, and then you're going to pull it tight. I probably could trim a little bit of this so that I don't have such a big overlay. Okay, I'm going to pull. And it doesn't matter if you're squishing it down because we're going to be stuffing this thing. What in the world? Okay. It starts out like a messy project, but it comes out beautiful when it's done. So as you can see, we're getting our dome started. Little tiny bit is in there, okay? Make sure it's nice and tight. So now we're going to roll up the back part, and I'm just going to miter the corners. You don't have to worry if you don't have the perfect corners, not until you get to the part where you have the satin and the lace on top. Miter that a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and glue the top here. Don't be shy with your glue. Now I'm going to go ahead and press that down. I've done like 3 of these already. I'm ready to be able to do it with my eyes closed. But I still struggle a little bit there. The first one I struggled with a little bit because I was really picky with the corners, and then I realized, you know what? You don't have to be perfect with it, because it will come out in the end really nice. All right, squish that down. Make sure it's nice and tight. That's the most important thing. You want to make sure it's tight, because you're going to be stuffing this with a lot of polyfill. You can use any kind of polyfill, batting. You can use whatever you use to stuff your projects with, or pillows, or the pin cushions work. Now felt can be a little tricky to glue. It takes a little bit of take. You have to really hold it down good. I don't want to start stuffing it until it's really good and glued down. All right. And sometimes you will end up having to, it does come apart on the side sometimes when you're stuffing it, but I do glue it and pull it back like it's already doing it. Just add a little bit of glue and just reapply. None of this is going to show. This part's going to be down on the canvas, so don't worry about being perfect, like I said. All right, so now we have a good base started. It's pretty flat, right? Well, we're going to make it into a dome. So now I like having this tool here because I like to be able to push whatever loose polyfill that's in there, and you're going to start stuffing it. I have this bag here. I've got the big huge bag of polyfill that I got from Michael's, and I'm just going to stuff it. What is that? Oh, it comes with the stuffing tool. I didn't see that in the bag. It's kind of neat. You can just use this, or I'm just going to use that. I never saw one of those in that bag before. All right, so now I'm just going to just stuff it, okay? And you want to make sure that you get down in the corners. So you're going to work your way down and then back up, okay? Oh, this is going to be fun. All right. Stuff it, stuff it. Don't be afraid to stuff it. We're going to form it after. And if it starts coming apart a little bit, don't worry. You're going to glue that back up because this is stretchy. That's why it's important to use the felt. Okay? Because it does stretch. You don't want to use a tight material to do this. You don't want it too stretchy either. You want it to be able to form. Now see how I'm getting that filled in? So I'm just going to stuff it, stuff it. Stuff it, stuff it. Like a burrito. I need another drink. My mouth is so dry. I'm telling you, spring is here. I can already tell that the pollen's going to be horrible. All right, keep on stuffing that down. Add some more. And the more stuffing you put in, the better the pin cushions are going to sit really nice on that cushion. You want to be able to close it too, so you want to make sure not to overstuff it. Okay? You want to be able to bring this up and around. See how that's getting a nice dome there? Now I have to start filling it in like that. Make sure you're making it even. You don't want lumps to show. You do have to play around with it a little bit, okay? As it gets filled, you'll notice that you'll have to just play around with the form a little bit, because the one thing you don't want is a bunch of lumps. So you just want to make sure it's even. I might have to add more on the end. Okay, I'll have to add a little bit more on the end. And I've also had it before where I had all of my silk on, and I've had to pull it open and stuff more in, because when I brought the silk on and wrapped it around, it kind of flattened the polyfill a little bit. So that's why I try and add as much as I can in the beginning. It's looking pretty good. I'm kind of gauging it by my other ones to kind of get an idea how much more I need. But you also want to be able to bring this up and around without bending the chipboard. That's also why you want to have a good thick chipboard as well. You don't want to bend the board, the chipboard. See, that side's a little bit more uneven. So I'm just going to go in. I'm going to even it out. Okay. Now, I'm going to go off camera, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to fill a little bit more, and then I'm going to stop in the next part. I just don't want this video being too long. Okay, so I finished getting it filled, and now I'm going to bring this part in. You're going to miter the corners like we did with the other side. and we're just going to bring it in. And like I said, if the corners are not perfect, don't worry. Even if you cut them a little bit short, don't worry. This is not the part that we're concerned about. This is just the inside, okay? So if you get it a little bit wonky, no fear. Do not worry. And you just want to play around a little bit with the filling just to make sure it's even, because you want it to be a dome just like that. Yep, that looks about the right size. If I look at the first one, yep. All right, so now you're going to notice that you might have a hard time gluing this down because felt is a little bit challenging to get stuck down, especially if you have some of that polyfill underneath it. It gets stuck. Now this corner is way out more than the other one. I didn't miter that one down enough. So I'll probably end up just trimming that down. Just along like that. Just like that. Probably bring that in just a little bit. See, now you've got the perfect 4x6. Looks like a hot pocket. That part keeps on being stubborn. It's because I've got some of that polyfill mixed in. So sometimes it's a little hard because it's not sticking to the board. So I'm just gonna add a little bit more glue. This, like I said, this project is like a glue project. Be prepared for your fingers to get all glue filled, and I'm just gonna hold it down for a minute. Okay. Now that you've got your form with the felt, I should have filled that in a little bit more. See that right there? I'm trying to see if I can. It should be okay. I could pull it open and pull some of that down a little bit. I think it's going to be okay. I noticed like a little dent there. I think I'm going to actually fix it. If I'm going to show you the way to do it, I'm going to do it right. Let me just pull some of that polyfill down a little bit just to fill it in. Probably got a little dented in when I was trying to glue it. Now we're going to glue it back down again. Just make sure to get it nice and tight when you do glue it down. I use the 3-in-1 glue. I know people ask me all the time. I use the Beacon 3-in-1. All right, that's a little bit better. All right, so next. It's a little bit less right here, but I think it's going to be fine. I should have filled in those corners a little bit more. It's a little challenging when you have to close up that side, but it's all right. This one's being a little pest. Of course, because I'm filming it. I didn't have these problems with the others. Okay. All right. So there's my dome top. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to get the next part, which is the silk. The satin, I mean. I'm going to use the pink satin. We're going to do, make sure you are using a clean surface when doing this part. You don't want to get glue on your satin. Let me see. Let me see. Is this the right? Yeah, it should be. All right. Let me just make sure. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to cut a piece. Let me see where my scissors. I'm going to cut a piece. You don't have to worry about it being a little wrinkled. It's going to straighten out when you pull it. I always like to cut a little bit bigger. It's always easier to take away than it is to add. Okay. Whoop. Just want to make sure I have enough. Yeah, it should be good. Yep. Okay, so you're going to do the same thing that you did with the felt, and you're going to apply it to the silk. Okay? You're going to glue. This is coming apart. I'm going to fix this now so that I don't have to do it when the silk is on. I'm going to go off camera for a minute, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fix the corners. Like I said, like I just don't want to have this video being an hour and a half long. So I will be right back. Okay, I fixed it. Now, I'm doing the same exact thing as I did with the felt. I'm going to add my glue on both sides. I like to go with the long edges first and then miter in the ends. You're going to pull it really tight. Again, it's so important that you pull it tight. That's why it's okay to go ahead and stuff it really full, because you end up squishing some of it down anyways. And it's going to look nice and tight like that. Okay, you can notice it's really tight and it springs back. You want it to be able to spring back. You don't want it loose. Even if you have to just keep on pulling it really tight and apply more glue on the very edges. Make sure to get it good and stuck to that board. Try not to get any glue on the front, because you don't want glue showing through. Like, don't flip it over and put it down and then flip it back, because you don't want to get that glue on your canvas that you're working on, okay? I made that mistake once and I had to redo it because I got glue all over my satin. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to miter. You can use a mitering tool if you want as well, and just miter the sides, almost like, you know, doing it like a present. So you're just going to have, you just go ahead and you miter your corners. Don't do it too short though, especially this part here. You need this to be able to wrap around the front. Okay, I'm going to go ahead off camera and I'm going to go and wrap this, and I will be right back with the next step. Okay, so I got this wrapped. It was a little challenging. For some reason, she just was not mitering. The corners were horrible, but then I realized, you know what? It doesn't need to be perfect because it's being wrapped with lace. So it's got a nice dome to it. So it's just like wrapping a present, basically. It's just it's filled with polyfill instead of a gift. So it's a little more challenging, but make sure, the number one thing that I keep on saying to people is make sure that it's tight. That's the only thing. And it doesn't have to be perfect underneath. It's going to be sitting right on top of the canvas. So if it's a little messy and you had to like play around with the glue, not a worry. As long as the glue is not on the front, that's what matters most. Okay, so next we're going to get our lace. And the lace that I was thinking about using is this piece here. I think it shines through great with the pink. So I think I'm going to go ahead and use this piece. I love this. Actually, you know what? I think I want to add a little bit of a polka dot underneath. So I'm going to grab some of my polka dot tool that I have. I have this really nice polka dotted tool that Laura Mitchell sent me. And I think I'm just going to add a little bit of a polka dot underneath just to give it a cute little look underneath that space. Because if you see with this lace that I've got, the CMS lace, it has like an opening right here. And I think it would be really cute if I added a little bit of a polka dot in there. Watch the difference. Aw, look at that. That just gives it like a whole new look. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue down my polka dot. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lightly tap just a couple little dots along the side. You're not even going to see it as long as it's not up in the middle. Just a little bit of a tap just to hold the tool down. I'm probably going to wrap it underneath. Well, I don't feel like mitering it or anything. I'm just going to cut it right at the corner. Just going to let it sit along the sides. Just going to go ahead and trim. I don't feel like wrapping it. You don't want to add too much bulk on the back because you don't want it sitting too high off the canvas. You want to be able to glue it down onto the canvas. So you don't want to add too much. So I'm just going to let that sit on the top because the lace is going to push it down anyways. Just enough to lay it on top. Doesn't have to be super glued down. And like I said, yuck. The fingers. This is definitely a messy glue kind of project. And we're going to be gluing this down to the canvas soon. Okay, so make sure I put the right side of the lace down. Just right here. I'm going to make it nice and even. I'm going to make sure that the flower is right there in the center. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to be a little more generous with the glue this time. Okay, now this I am going to go ahead and glue underneath. And I think I'm going to, let me see how I'm going to do this. I think I'm going to go ahead and glue underneath. Okay, so I'm going to pause for a minute and I'm just going to wrap this lace on top. I'm just going to glue both sides and I'm going to trim around and just go ahead and glue it like I did with both of the others, and I will be right back. Okay, I went ahead and I wrapped the lace. Look at how beautiful that came out. Oh my goodness. The polka dot just added so much to the CMS lace. It just really made it pop. I just love how that came out. Love how that came out. Okay, so the next that you're going to do is we have to create a separation between the canvas and the pincushion. Okay, so what we're going to work on next is the trim. Okay, so well, first what we need to do is actually we have to glue down. We need to glue, well, first of all, if you're going to do a ruffle or any kind of a ruffle around this, you're going to want to put it down on the canvas first, which I am using a ruffle. I was thinking of doing either a ruffle, this ruffle here, or I was thinking about doing the fuzz like I did around this one. That's a trim. Don't need that yet. Where did that... Like I said, I swear, there must be some kind of a desk thief. When I put stuff down here, it baffles me. This happens when I do lives too. I'll have everything out and then all of a sudden, what I'm looking for, oh, here it is not here. Okay, so I was thinking about either doing this fuzz. Well, that was actually around between the two. I still did a ruffle. Okay, let me do the pink ruffle. This is CMS. She dyed it pink. Isn't it so pretty? I love her ruffle. So I'm going to go ahead and glue all around the corners because we're going to do a ruffle around the edges. So I'm going to put it on the very, very edge. Okay. All right. I'm telling you, I've got like glue. I might have to go and pause and wash my hands because my fingers are sticking to everything. This is such a fun project. And it looks so cute on your desk. And it's perfect for all your favorite pin cushions. I mean your pins. All your favorite pin cushions. All your favorite pins. Your stick pins. It's perfect to have next to your sewing machine. To put all your pins on. Adds a little shabby chic to your desk. You can't have enough of that. All right, so I'm going to trim that off. I don't know why I did it that way. Hold on. Let me wrap this first so I don't waste it. What was I thinking? Use this up first. And then use the little bit here. Cut it right there. This is around the back. the way that the ruffle is, it kind of has a top and a bottom. So it's not like you're just placing it in the bottom and the ruffle comes down. This one's a little bit more of a different kind of ruffle. It's kind of like an edge ruffle more so. So I'm seeing how that's going to be placed because I'm going to be putting trim around this. I might have to go around that a little bit differently. Oops, no, this is the front. Might have to go around it a little bit differently. I'm telling you, sometimes when you're working on it, you're like, how is this going to look great? Well, it turns out as you're working on it, and it looks messy sometimes because you're not there yet. And then it all comes together, and you're like, oh my gosh. All right. I'll fix that in a minute. Let me place down. I'm going to place down the cushion now. I probably could have just placed down the cushion and did the ruffle after, because the way that the ruffle sits, it's not a kind that's got the base on the top. It's got the base in the middle, and I didn't want the cushion sitting on half of the ruffle. So I'm going to be adding another trim to separate between the two. And you'll see what I mean in a minute. Okay, some of that got underneath. I should have used the other ruffle, the other CMS ruffle. I've got the other CMS ruffle that looks like this. That one has a base and it comes down over the front, whereas this one, what did I use on this one? Yeah, I used the ruffle on that one. Okay, so now I gotta do this back. Is driving me nuts. Let me get it. Okay, it should be okay. Now this is glued down onto the canvas. And we're also going to cover the back of the canvas as well. Okay, she's getting shabby. Now I might want to go and put something along the edge there too. Should have done that first, but I thought that the ruffle was going to cover it. But I forgot that this one has like two parts to the ruffle. But it's okay. It's looking really good so far. See how that's looking? So shabby. And test out a pin. Perfect. Nice and tight. I love it. I wonder if I should use this trim. No, it's too thick. All right, I'm going to need something a little skinnier. So I'm wondering. Now I want to create some kind of a, see how there's like a separation between the chipboard and the canvas? I want to put a trim around that. Make sure it's all glued down, by the way. You don't want any holes or separation. See how that's kind of open right there? You want to make sure you get that good and glued down onto the board. And that's why it was important to make that chipboard a little bit smaller. Had it not, it would have been like over the sides of the canvas. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Now, what do I want to do for the trim? Do I want to do the fuzzy? The fuzzy actually might look cute. Or is it too much? Might be too much. I wonder if I can, and I think that this one's too wide. This ribbon through is definitely too wide. I might have to go with something I could put it between the ruffle. See, the center of the ruffle is right on the separation. And I could put something in between to hide that separation. Probably end up doing that. I gotta glue that down a little bit more. There we go. All right, that's what I think I'm gonna do. All right, now to choose, I'm probably gonna put a base down here first though. I don't think I want that white showing. So I'm going to, actually, nope, that's too wide. Let me think for a minute. My plan changed a little bit to what I was going to do. So I'm needing to think for a minute. What about this? I got this in one of the oopsie bags. No. Okay, I'm going to go off camera really quick. I'm going to go find a different trim to go along the base of the canvas. And then I'm going to find a trim that's going to fit right in between the ruffle to hide that separation between the two. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that. We're going to glue that part on, and then we're going to embellish it. I will be right back. Okay. I have found some trim. It was a hard decision, but I went and pulled a bunch of things to try out. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this trim here for the bottom base. It was between this and some ribbon, but this has a very faint pink color, and I thought it would look really cute along the bottom. It has a little bit of flowers. So I'm going to go ahead and use this trim. I'm going to pull this forward so I can use it as a base to hold it up really quick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and line the base, and I'm going to add some trim. Now, ribbon looks nice. I think on this one, yes, on this one here, I used a pink ribbon, and it looked really cute. I like it, but I think I wanted something that hung over the bottom a little bit, just to give it a little bit of a scallop look. So I'm going to put it down and just have it hanging over just a little bit. I'm going to do the same for the sides. Glue along the sides and work the trim. Like that. And then along the back. We're already 52 minutes into this video, so that's why I paused a lot, just so that you guys weren't having to sit through a lot of extra stuff that you probably already know how to do. So, all right, so we're just lining the side of the canvas. I'm going to go ahead and do the side here. Move a little faster. Normally when I'm not on video, I do this a little slow because I'm very particular, very picky on where things lay. And okay. I'm just going to overlap just a little bit. In the back, you won't even notice. And I bring the ruffle back down. I want to make sure I'm going to separate that ruffle so I can put my center trim in now. And make sure that's glued down. Let me see. Yeah, just like that. All right, so I've got that line in between. That separation of the lace. Whoop. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the trim around the center so that you don't see that gap between the canvas and the chipboard. And I went ahead and I picked this cute trim from Crafty Me Shop. I love this. This one is in a very faint pink as well. And I want to get it right there on the line. Right in between the ruffle. Isn't that cute? That's going to look perfect in between there. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue. And I'm going to go ahead and glue the side while I'm at it too. All right. I actually love this trim. I don't use it too often, but when I do, I love it. I think this is my last 1.5 yards of it. That's the hard part about falling in love with some of these Crafty Me Shop laces. Once it's gone, it's gone. Some of them that she has are regulars, and they always come back, which is nice because you fall in love with some of those really beautiful laces too, and she'll bring them back out for sale. But there are some that when they're sold out, and I've had some pieces that I loved that I could not get another one of, and it's frustrating because there are some that I just, oh my goodness. And I say to myself, I should have ordered like 5 yards when that was for sale. So if you love something that you see it, get it. You can do what Laura Mitchell does. It's called Fonga. I always tease her about it. Fonga is fear of not getting another. So whenever she orders something that she loves, she'll get like 10 of them. And she'll even grab all which is left. If her and I are shopping on Etsy or something, and we see something, she'll go and grab it all. She'll say, oh, sorry, I grabbed the last bit of it. And I'll be like, oh my gosh, I wanted some too. She's like, I know, it's the Fonga. But I know she'll send me some, so it's a win-win. We swap lace all the time. All right. So now I've got that trim sitting right in the center of the lace so that you don't see the separation between the chipboard and the canvas. I like doing it. Now I haven't tried it. I haven't tried it the way that G. Kerr has done it. but I just know that this is easier for me to where I have more control of my lace. And it works both ways, because Jen Chim did hers that way. Actually, no, I think Jen Chim did it my way with the chipboard. But these are really nice. She did a great job. She did all kinds of different pin cushions. So definitely go on over and check out her video. And I'm going to leave a link below. She was such an inspiration for this project for me and Jen. Had so much fun. A lot of times when I see a project, I'll try and add at least one little thing to kind of make it my style. But I'm always inspired. There's so many such beautiful creators out there. Okay, so there is the trim, and I think it fits beautifully where that separation was. Look at how pretty that is. Just looking at that from the front, it's so pretty. I love it. All right, so next what we're going to do is I'm going to put down either a piece of cardstock with the photo on it or a nice piece of wallpaper. I just like to cover that hole. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the camera for a moment, go find a piece of image to put on the back of that. I'll be right back. Okay, so what I decided to do for the back is I'm going to go ahead and use an embossed piece of paper. An embossed piece of cotton paper. I just embossed these the other day. So I'm going to go ahead and measure it out and cut it. I think that'll look really pretty for the bottom. This is the beautiful embossing Anna Griffin. I think it's called Rosevine. Really pretty. So I'm just going to go ahead and just trim it a little bit. And then trim the bottom. There we go. And I'm going to glue it. Perfect. Let me see. Probably trim it a little more on the side. You don't want it showing when it's standing up. Okay. There we go. That's perfect. Okay. So now I'm going to glue down this embossed piece of paper just to cover that little hole on the back of the canvas. Just makes it look neater. Okay. There we go. That's really pretty. Look at that. That is gorgeous. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and glue on the legs. And like I said, I'm going to leave a link below of everything that I'm using. These are from Amazon. Okay, where did that fourth one go? There, you're hiding, you're hiding. So I'm just going to put them right at the corners. And these are very light and they stick pretty well. And you can use any legs for your pincushion bottom. I went with the crystals just because it matches the shabby chic look. I didn't want to go with the other legs that I've got because they're more they're a little darker for like some of the other projects that I made, and I could have painted it. I could have painted them white, but I'm just going to stick to using the crystals just to keep with the theme of the rest of them. And I'm just going to flip it over and keep it on its... Oh, that's so cute! I know you guys can't see it from the angle that I'm seeing it at, but look at that. Actually, let me just make this more even. This one needs to come up just a little bit. Oh, this is so cute. I love the embossed paper. That was a perfect touch. Now, I will be selling this one as well. So I will be selling 3 pin cushions. I'm selling this one, I'm selling this one, and I'm selling the first one that I made. I'm keeping the angel for myself. So I'm selling it through PayPal. I was going to put it on my Etsy, but no. Etsy is charging way too much for fees right now, and I think it's just, yeah. So I'm going to do it through my PayPal. And you guys can message me, the first 3 who message me on Facebook or email. I'll leave a link below. It is yours to buy. And I hope you'll enjoy them. They're so cute. I love this one. I'm like, oh, I want to keep this one. All right, now I'm going to add the embellishments on the top. Now, this was a hard decision. There's a lot I like. This is like a staple Crafty Me Shop flower. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do that flower or if I wanted to do the Hocus Pocus color, or if I wanted to add the pretty flower on the front. There was even the thought about doing like this piece here. It's got the pearls, but I'm not loving the design, but I was thinking about putting it there with the flower over it and still having the pearls dangle on the bottom. So that was a thought too. This is what happens when you've got too many decisions. And then I thought about doing this piece here, which is really, really pretty. I think that would be a little too bling bling. I'd have to add something under it. Maybe like put it around this cameo or... I don't know. I'm not feeling it. Ooh, that's pretty. Now, I do want to add a few little embellishments on here. I was thinking about doing some pearls. I'm going to add some pearls on the top. Let me go ahead and get my pearls out. And also add some flowers. Okay, I gotta go fetch my pearls. Or maybe I can do 2 of these in the corner. Well, that's a little too white. I think that pops too much. I got 2 of them here. I was thinking maybe I can do 1 in each corner and then do maybe a flower in the center. I was going to possibly do one of the flowers I made from Crafty Me Shop. This is her flowers that came on like a yard, and I put them together to make the flowers. But I don't know, it looks a little bit too big. Okay, let me go get the pearls. Let's go ahead and decorate with the pearls. And then at the same time, I'm going to go ahead and look for my other flower that I have an idea for. So I will be right back. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm just adding a few little pearls onto the top of the lace. And I just made a few little glue piece areas right where the little swirls are in the lace. I like that. I have my little stick that I use that's got the sticky, but I forgot to take it out. All right. I'm going to put two more, one there and one there. I'm going to put a little dab of glue there, dab of glue there. There you go. Where's that other glue? Where'd that other pearl go? Actually, that's not the right one. Hold on. I counted enough. Thought that was enough. I'll just cut another one off. Hold on. Okay. Got the right one right there. There we go. All right, so there's the pearls. Really pretty pearls. And then we're going to add our embellishment on the front. I thought I would I was thinking possibly this in the center, but I think I'm just going to go with the flower. I think I'm just going to go with the pretty flower. I was thinking about putting this embellishment on first and then putting the flower over it so that you can still have the pretty beads hanging off the front. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this right on the front. Actually, what I should do is glue the flower on it first. Let me see. I was going to do my flower on the front. I was thinking of doing this flower on the front, but I think it's a little bit too big. And I don't think that the ivory really goes with the white. So I'm just going to go with the Crafty We Shop Beautiful flower. And I'm going to put it right on top of here so that it has the beads hanging down, and it will hang right down on the front. So I'm going to glue this on. And put the flower right on top. I'm wondering if I should still add those little, I wish I could find my other flower like this. I could just put right there in the corner. I have more of those, but I don't know where they are. I would love to put two little flowers in the corner. I wonder where they went. I might have to go off and look. Let me let that dry for a second. Let me see if I've got those other flowers. Let me see. I do have... Okay, let me find the other flower like that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now I went and added just two little flowers on the side, like that. And then I'm going to add the final flower in the center. So I'm going to go ahead and glue the back of the flower and add it right there below the little section that had the flower on the lace. I'm going to press it down. I love the beads on top. That just gives it that real pretty. Oh my goodness, I love the hanging. This is going to take a little bit to dry. Look at the hanging beads. Look at that. Oh my goodness. And here is your pincushion. Your Ottoman pincushion. And you can decorate it any way you want when you make one. You can embellish it all. You can add a cameo. You can add the angel, a bow, flowers, pearls. You can bling it. You can put crystals on it. It's endless what you can do. And of course, you gotta finish it off with adding your pretty stick pins. Oh my goodness. I love how that one came out. I almost don't want to give it up, but I can't keep them all. Anyways, so like I said, I'm selling this one, and then the first one I made. And these will be listed in the description below. I hope that this has inspired you. And I am so excited to share this tutorial with you. It's been a while since I've done a tutorial, so I'm pretty excited about that. I've missed you all, and this was so much fun. These are so fun to make. If you end up making one, please share them over on the Grace B Creations Facebook group, which I'll also link below. But I would love to see you make one. One person already made one, Nicola. It looks absolutely gorgeous. I cannot wait to see what you all come out with if you do make one, and I cannot wait to see it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I want to say a big shout out to Crafty Me Shop for this design team project. I enjoyed doing it, and I love using Esme's laces. Again, I'm going to link Crafty Me Shop Facebook group below. Go on over and check out her sales. She has absolutely beautiful lace. Have a good rest of the day, guys. Bye.